The following announcement has been paid for by Perched on the Top Rope.
I see you. This is Perched on the Top Rope, and I'm the boogeyman, and I'm coming to get ya!
Welcome everyone to Perched on the Top Rope. I am your host, former dirt sheet writer from Ringside News, Daily DDT, Sports Kita, and more. I am Lee Walker. And folks, have you ever wondered what the numbers AEW Dynamite is pulling in total, whether it be from both TV and the streaming service of HBO Max? I know I have. I've been very curious about it. So, there's been a new report, an update, if you will, in the viewership numbers of AEW Dynamite on Max. Now, Dynamite began simulcasting on the Warner Brothers Discovery streaming platform HBO Max earlier this year. However, there has been no insight to the viewership on Max. Now, according to the report, the source claims that Dynamite has been averaging 500,000 viewers on Max since it debuted on the streaming app earlier this year. So, on TV, AEW Dynamite averages around between 600 and 700,000 viewers. So this would put AEW averaging about 1.1 to 1.2 million viewers per week, along with the live viewers on TBS. Now, AEW Dynamite reportedly averages 60 million minutes watched per week. The deviation of plus minute 10% to 20%, depending on the episode and its programming competition. Now, AEW has faced all sorts of competition from other sports. That is nothing new. Now, the report adds that the typical Nielsen viewership numbers aren't necessarily as important to the streaming platforms. With the minutes watched for Dynamite averaging 500,000 viewers per episode live plus one, that accounts for viewers who watched the show live on the app and for the following 24 hours. So they might not have watched it live. Additionally, the report states also that large deviations from week to week also affect the total streaming minutes. Now, fans, this is where it gets a little dicey because I'm going to talk about Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer Radio, who has been notoriously wrong on his news as of late. Dave commented that AEW streaming numbers are kept under lock and key, and no one in AEW knows the numbers. Meltzer added, AEW not knowing about Dynamite streaming numbers, saying that they have an idea, but they don't know them. Meltzer also stated that the numbers being quoted in the report are likely roundabout number, adding, it's probably not the average number of viewership, which would probably be similar to the Nielsen number, but the number of people who logged in at some point. Meltzer continued that while it's possible that the number from SEScoops report is accurate, doesn't mean 600,000 television viewers and another 500,000 streaming. He then estimated that the viewership was closer to 1.5 million television viewers and another 500 viewers streaming from Max, which would be closer to 2 million viewers for Dynamite across both TBS and Max. Dave Meltzer's off his fucking rocker. You're trying to tell us 1.5 million viewers are watching AEW, so if those numbers aren't right, then why don't you report what you think the real numbers are for Raw and SmackDown? Or NXT for that matter, Dave. Because here's the problem. He estimates it closer being to 1.5 million TV when AEW is averaging, we'll just go with 600,000 a week. WWE does higher numbers of those, and he's literally more than doubling what he thinks the television viewership is on TBS. There's no way. If that's the case, then there's a lot more people watching SmackDown, because SmackDown would average 1.9 to 2 million viewers, right? So, okay, so we're going to double that. So you're telling me SmackDown is getting 4 million viewers? Dave, you're full of shit. So, with that being said on AEW, I'm going to move it over to WWE, because WWE has been known for its people getting lawsuits, and Pat McAfee is about to get one himself. Yeah, you heard me right. The WWE Raw commentator and ESPN host of the Pat McAfee show, which is always courting some form of controversy. The way he is, he was just bashing on Hulk Hogan and other people, and seems to be a trend. Now, he's done so again, and the recent comments being made on the Pat McAfee show could be leading him into a legal situation that could be costly for him and ESPN. I don't know how costly it could be. The man makes $30 million a year just podcasting. But on Tuesday, The Athletic reported a story of an 18-year-old Ole Miss freshman named Mary Kate Cornett. She's a business major with no connections to sports. However, Cornett was mentioned not by name, though, by McAfee on February 26th, when he and co-host touch upon a social media rumor about an Ole Miss college student having an affair with her boyfriend's father. Now, the story was brought up while NFL insider Adam Schefter was discussing Ole Miss QB and the NFL draft prospect Jackson Dart, who, aside from Ole Miss ties, appears to have no connection to this young woman. Following McAfee's remarks, the rumors about Cornett was then platformed by former NFL receiver Antonio Brown, at least 2 Barstool Sports personalities, and ESPN St. Louis radio host Doug Vaughn giving the rumor traction on social media. Since then, Cornett, her boyfriend, and family became a target of harassment, and Cornett has been forced to move into emergency housing. Cornett has hired a lawyer named Monica Uden to represent her going forward as she pursues legal action against McAfee, ESPN, and other potential social media and ESPN announcers. Cornett said, "I would like people to be held accountable for what they've done. You've been ruining my life by talking about it on your show for nothing but attention. But here I am, staying up until 5 a.m. every night, throwing up, not eating because I am so anxious about what is going to happen for the rest of my life, Cornette said. McAfee and ESPN have yet to respond to the story. However, there are a ton of comments such as Multinez commented, yeah, she has no case. Contextually, why was she even talking about it, though? Brennan commented, the story with her photo was all over X and various sports page message boards before McAfee even mentioned her anonymously. I can't see what he did any more hurtful than the posts on X and everywhere else, etc. I'm guessing since he didn't mention her by name, he has somewhat protected himself. Someone, WQSG WHWHLQLQK. Wow. I can't blame Pat. Hot Rod commented, that's great he thinks he's untouchable. Someone needs to bring him down to reality. John Helsky. Finally, actual and proper news. Super Sabu wrote, maybe not. Put yourself in situations that will make you the center of water cooler conversations from the start? Question mark? Or stooge on yourself when no one has put a name to the rumor. Odarg the Mighty wrote, both are adults. Besides her cheating on her boyfriend, there is nothing wrong or illegal about what they did. The fact that this type of stuff is a story now when it would be ignored 30 years ago is crazy. Stop focusing on people's private lives when you yourself most likely have skeletons in your closet as well, Pat. That one's a very well said one. I'm not going to lie, I like that one. However, cheating is kind of, it's not illegal, I guess, but I mean, why, I mean, if the dad was hotter, I guess, but GK137 wrote, I didn't read about a denial. Twist of Kane writes, when did slut shaming become a crime? I gotta agree. Hey, if she did it, she did it. Who cares? That's my opinion. But, you know, if this is causing an issue for this young lady, then, yeah, it needs to maybe not be talked about anymore, as I'm literally talking about it. But, yeah, that's great. Who am I? Now, have y'all been following WWE? We are on the road to WrestleMania over in Europe. Amazing tour. I absolutely love the crowd. Now, for the third week in a row, WWE Raw opened up with a lengthy segment involving John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Among the topics on Cena's mind was also AEW. Though neither wrestler mentioned the promotion by name, there were several references to Rhodes' past in the company. Surprisingly, the references created stir among fans online, which even promoted former AEW World Champion MJF to share his thoughts on X. And this is what he had to say. I truly don't get why fans get up in arms when WWE mentions or references AEW, MJF wrote. Or when AEW mentions or references AEW. If you want to be treated like children, watch Elmo. Or better yet, tell VKM to start a new promotion. So, in addition to the AEW references, the Raw promo also featured an allusion to Vince McMahon, with Rhodes telling Cena that he was chosen by a man in an office who they don't talk about anymore. On Cena's part, he insulted Rhodes by telling him that he got booed in a company that he co-founded. Additionally, Cena stated that he creates empires for billionaires, while Rhodes just steals money from their children. A reference to Akon co-owner Tony Khan. The segment ended with Rhodes finally landing some offense on Cena using a crossroads to leave the soon-to-be retiring star lying on the mat. With WWE WrestleMania 41 just a few weeks away, the Cena-Rhodes match is all but guaranteed to close out one of the two nights. Now, while responding to MJF's post, a fan focused on the Elmo aspect of his comment and asked MJF if he had a favorite Sesame Street character. MJF replied with a screenshot of WWE star Sheamus alongside Beaker, who is a Muppet that does not typically appear on Sesame Street. But you gotta admit that was hilarious. Now, fans, I love a good clap back. And that's exactly what happened between Chelsea Green and Val Venis. Now, March 31st marks the International Transgender Day of Visibility, which celebrates transgender people and their contributions they have made to society. So, WWE stars Michin and Chelsea Green, known allies of the LGBT community, showed their support for this event, later posting a graphic of the transgender pride flag colors on X. In response to Michin posting this, Chelsea Green had quote tweeted, "Hate you, love this." The former part of a reference of her storyline feud with Michin on WWE television. The later part of this had caught the attention of former WWE Tag Team Champion and Intercontinental Champion Val Venis, who claimed that Green and other supporters need our prayers, as he considered the transgender movement to be, and I quote, harmful to society. Venis also advised those expressing distress related to their gender identity to pray, seek treatment, and deepen their relationship with Jesus Christ. So Chelsea Green responds to Val Venis's anti-transgender remarks. Now, what Val Venis had wrote in the full tweet, as you can see, content like this drives me away from wrestling. It's disheartening to witness the disconnect and the lack of moral engagement. I believe Chelsea Green, along with those affected by her views on transgender issues, need our prayers. I see this transgender movement as harmful too. So Chelsea Green responds, "It's so unfortunate that instead of simply scrolling past, you chose to quote tweet me, knowing it would invite your followers to pile on. You were fully aware of what you were doing, encouraging harassment towards me and towards the LGBT community. Fortunately, Fortunately, neither your opinions nor your attempts to determine my support will change anything. I'll be praying for you because it looks like you've got a little too much time on your hands and hate in your heart. So he responded even more. I'm sorry to hear that you interpreted my actions as harassment or hate. Your post was shared on a public forum, a digital town square called X, and I engaged with it by critically analyzing your position and sharing my perspective. This is the essence of a public disclosure. Labeling disagreement as harassment or hatred seems excessive. Could you clarify which specific aspects of my post led you to that conclusion? I firmly disagree with your stance on certain LGBTQ issues, but disagreement does not equate to hate. Civil disclosure allows for differing opinions without resorting to personal attacks or assumptions about intent. My critique was focused on ideas presented, not on you personally. If we are to have meaningful discussions, we must separate individuals from their arguments and engage respectfully. I stand by my original post as a fact-based critique, not an attack. Let's strive for constructive dialogue rather than mischaracterizations. So, his whole post originally stated, content like this drives me away from wrestling. It's disheartening to witness the disconnect and lack of moral engagement. I believe Chelsea Green, along with those affected by her views on transgender issues, need our prayers. I see the transgender movement as harmful to society, supported by individuals who, in my view, neglect the seriousness of what is called gender dysphoria. My advice for those experiencing distress related to gender identity is to pray, seek treatment, and deepen their relationship with Jesus Christ. In contrast, Chelsea Green seems to advocate for acceptance, embracing a serious mental disorder, and supporting coddling and nurturing gender dysphoria. These represent two very different paths in life. Pray for Chelsea and the folks deceived by her. No, that's a personal attack, Val. Sorry, bud. Let's be honest, Val Venis has been off his rocker for far too long. Maybe it's the chair shots, maybe it's the marijuana. I highly doubt it's the marijuana because RVD is phenomenal and seems fine. And that man loves marijuana, so I'm not sure there. However, this was rather eye-opening, to say the least. Val's always been off his rocker, and we see it more and more every day. It's pretty much why he's not allowed at most meet and greets. It is what it is. But, ladies and gentlemen, you can check this show out and a very special interview with WCW's Alex Wright coming out this week. We also have all sorts of unboxing videos, card breaks, and more at youtube.com/perched on the top rope. And of course, we are a podcast that you can listen to on Apple, Spotify, Google, Podbean, Podbay, Red Circle. If it's a podcast platform, you can find Perched on the Top Rope. After all, we are on Chartable. We are a top 20 ranked podcast. We're ranked in over 20 countries worldwide. And we even are a top 60 toy podcast, as I'm always constantly talking about toys. It's not the ones like on adamandeve.com, but it is what it is. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Perched on the Top Rope. We are over 20,000 strong, and we just ran an awesome contest giving away a signed Kurt Angle action figure. And second place got a signed 8x10 of Big Daddy Cool Diesel. So for every 10,000 new likes we get, so at 30,000 there'll be another contest. And I'll be doing this with other platforms too as it goes, like from X at Perched Top Rope, Instagram, Perched on the Top Rope Podcast. Also same for Threads at Perched on the Top Rope Podcast. We are on Blue Sky. It's Perched on the Top Rope. We are on X, Perched Top Rope. I've said it twice now. I want you to go follow Perched Top Rope on X. And hey, after all, ladies and gentlemen, spoiler free's the way to be. I'm out.